You know what? I'm going to tell y'all some of the wisest things that I heard as a child that didn't really register and make sense until it was too late. It didn't make sense until it was too late. They used to tell me, Matthew, they used to tell me, Phil, if you show me your friends, then I can show you your future. And I was like, go on with all that old school. But they told me, if you show me your friends, I can show you your future. They used to say things like, if you lay down with dogs, you will catch fleas. And, you know, it sounded like a cool catchphrase. If you lay down with dogs, you will catch fleas. Birds of a feather flock together. If you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. But it's wisdom in that. And I didn't realize it until it was too late. Because you see, I'm going to be honest with you. Growing up, until I made it to high school, I was a nerd. I was a geek. I was a bookworm. I was the individual that individuals wanted to copy off of my test, right? I wasn't always popular. Yeah, I had friends. I had close friends. I had people that I hung with, but I wasn't popular by the random standards and the normal standards that people understand popularity, right? I was an introvert, right? I was a nerd. I was a geek up until about high school. And I didn't really have a whole lot of friends like that. I didn't hang with a whole lot of people. I may have had one solid best friend. We was best friends for years. And then something may have happened. And then I had another best friend, one best friend that I was best friends with years. But I didn't hang around a lot of people, right? And for the most part, I hung around like-minded individuals and I was able to stay the course. But as soon as I started convincing myself that I wasn't an intelligent individual, I wasn't a nerd, I wasn't a geek, I wasn't a schoolboy, you know, all of those types of terminologies, they started leaving a bad taste in my mouth, and I started being ashamed. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I started being ashamed of my intelligence, right? Because honestly, sometimes I didn't even feel normal, fam. I ain't even feel normal. It was like I could get a test and I don't even have to study. I could make 100 on the test. And the average individual, they used to tell me like, man, Matt, you smart. It's something about you. You special. You are intelligent. But in this society, there was a stigma on intelligence. Craziest thing in the world. And maybe it was just my flawed perception of the world, but there was a stigma to me on intelligence. And the nerd, the schoolboy, the good guy, the geek, the bookworm, they were looked down upon as somebody who was to be bullied. Now, I never really got bullied because I had 6 big brothers. I'm the youngest. I had 6 big brothers and all my big brothers was gangster, right? And nobody was going to mess with Phil, because if they messed with Phil, they would have to deal with the repercussions that they knew was coming after that. So I wasn't bullied, but I was the type of individual that if I was on my own, I was prime real estate. Hey, I was prime real estate for that. But luckily, since I had those 6 big brothers who was gangster, if I got into a situation, I could definitely handle myself because I had been fighting my whole life. I just didn't like it, right? But then when I convinced myself that to be a gangster was better than being a nerd, that being a thug was better than being a schoolboy, that being a dropout was better than being a graduate, that going to jail was better than being college. This is how I mentally corrupted myself. I'm not going to lie. And I started hanging with individuals who thought the same way. Everything starts spiraling out of control. But I'm going to be real. I'm not just going to put it on the individuals that I was running with. I was part of the problem, right? Individuals' parents could tell them about me once I made it to high school. If you show me your friends, I can show you your future. If they hung with me, they would end up getting those negative results. And as a result, at 15, I went to juvenile for burglary. 15 or 16, I went to juvenile for burglary. Man, we went on a spree breaking into people's houses, breaking into schools, committing vandalism, breaking into stores. And man, we was just pillaging and plundering, right? We were just pillaging and plundering. And so it is a reality that if you show me your friends, I can show you your future. So what I want you to do and what I had to do, I had to change who I hung around. I had to change who I spent time with. I had to change who I talked to. I had to change who I idolized. I had to change who I looked up to, right? I had to change all of that in order to change my future, right? I got a job when I got out of prison. I got a job at McDonald's. And when I got that job at McDonald's, I realized that I wanted to be a manager. So what did I do? When I realized that I wanted to be a manager, I endeared myself to the management team because I knew in order to be a manager, I would have to surround myself with the managers, right? And when I wanted to become a general manager, I had to start walking and talking and interacting with the general managers, right? When you want to move up in life, you find someone who has already reached the status that you are trying to attain, and you surround yourself around them. You see what they talk about. You see how they live. You see what they say. You see what they do. So you can imitate that in your life, because there are certain activities, there are certain mind states, there are certain things that successful people do. So if you want to be successful, you got to get you some successful friends. If you're the richest person in the group, or if you're the most successful person in the group, and you want to rise higher and higher, for one, you can make the people around you successful and help them reach their full potential, and then y'all can continue to rise together, which is the ultimate option. But in order to do that, you have to surround yourself with someone who is more successful than you. You have to start listening to them, see how they respond. How many times, think about this, how many times have you had a bad experience at the job and someone made you mad, they aggravated you, and then when you went to your friend and you told them, hey, man, such and such, such and such, such and such happened at the job and it ran me hot. And then they told you, girl, F that job. Bro, F that job. Hey, if those are the kind of friends that you have, you may want to change your circle, right? Think about what I'm telling you. But then if you go to someone and then you tell them such and such, such and such, such and such happened at the job, and then they give you a viable solution to solve the problem and not hurt yourself more than you already hurting, then that's someone that you need to keep around. I always tell people, when you have a problem, the only action that you should do in response to that problem is the solution. But a lot of times when we have a problem, we respond to the problem by doing things that make the problem worse. That's insane. If you have a problem, the only thing that you should do is something that is a solution to the problem. When you have a problem, you find a solution, and the solution is equivalent and equal to the problem itself. Think about what I'm telling you. When you have a problem, the only thing you should be concerned with is solving the problem. Man, I was at work one day, and an individual, and they were joking, so it's not that serious, but listen what I'm going to tell you, the concept is real. I was at work one day, and two guys were having a conversation. And in their conversation, I came up, right? And so one of the individuals said something about me. I couldn't understand what he was saying because he said it in Spanish. So two guys that understand Spanish, they told me, they was like, oh, man, if you heard what he just said about you, you wouldn't like it. You need to go address that, right? And so I told him, I say, oh, I do? I say, all right, well, tell me, how will me addressing whatever he said improve my condition? And they was like, no, I'm just saying, if you would have heard me, you wouldn't have liked it. I say, no, I get that. I wouldn't have liked it. But tell me this. I just got a question. How would me reacting how you're telling me to react, how would that improve my condition? How would that make me better? How would that get me to where I'm trying to go in life? How? Just tell me. And they had no answer. But had I went and addressed it aggressively, right, I could lose my job. Now, my wife depends on me. My 3 children depend on me. I got bills to pay, man. I got rent, light, gas, water. You feel me? I got phone bill, car note. Hey, I got bills to pay, man. So How you telling me to address that situation will not help my situation, right? But it can only make my situation worse, right? Guess what? It's not an intelligent solution. If you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. If you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. If you want to be successful, hang around more successful people. Wherever you're trying to get in life, you find someone who is already doing it and you surround yourself with them and people like them, and you will have a better chance. And if you surround yourself with individuals who are doing things that you do not want to be a part of, you will inadvertently be dragged into the filth. Matthew Daniels, The Chosen Few, Ampu, The Real Bookworm. May your name live on forever, and may your memory never die. Hotel.